Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. You know, sometimes you you get a matchup and you think, oh, what a load of rubbish, that's going to be over in double quick time. And then it surprises you. And such was the case with Dillian White against Ebenezer Tetteh of Ghana. This was a good, entertaining little row. Not much scientific going on, but it was a good scrap. Tetteh came in with 23 wins, 20 KOs, one defeat. The defeat was a first-round knockout back in 2019 to Daniel Dubois. It shows you how hard Daniel Dubois hits, because he gave Dillian White plenty to think about in this fight. He retired on his stool, or his corner retired him on his stool after 7 rounds. He was just shagged, absolutely knackered. And it's not surprising because, like I say, he's from Accra, Ghana, Tetteh, and he's listed on BoxRec as being 36 years of old. Well, if he's 36, I'm 31, all right? So all you girls who are young enough to be my daughters, form an orderly queue. I'm 31. Yeah, come on, man. Jesus Christ. Doesn't look a day under 55. In fact, I do look younger than him, come to think of it. But anyway, Tetteh, whatever age he is, he showed guts by the bucket, took some hellacious shots. Is that the word? And White couldn't floor him. And I mean, everyone was thinking this is going to be over in a couple of rounds, but White came in looking, I thought he looked overweight. I know heavyweight boxing isn't a bodybuilding contest, but no, he looked very big in the middle and quite soft. Tetteh just looked old, somewhat overweight. And when it started, White came out, trying to load up, I think, a bit. He did mix a little bit of boxing in with the power punching. White's got a very good jab, We all know about the left hook. But he seemed to be very much a left-sided fighter because his jab is excellent as well. He's an orthodox fighter. Tetteh is also orthodox. But White just wanted to have a row, I think. And Tetteh was like, yeah, all right, we'll go with that. So they were exchanging bombs. And there were times when, Tetteh was trying for that uppercut. I think it was the second round. He landed an uppercut and you were thinking, ooh, because all three of Dillian White's all three of his defeats have been knockout victories via uppercuts. So Tetteh seemed to have done a little bit of homework and was trying it. And he had a pretty decent uppercut. He was throwing his backhand, throwing some jabs. He wasn't really stepping in with the jab, Tetteh. And the backhand was a bit cuffing, Didn't really have much torque in it. But Dillian White, look, the guy's a fighter. The guy's a fighting man. No doubt about it. He loves to fight. But there were times when Tetteh was putting it on him, just these little cameos where White looked uncomfortable. I wouldn't say he was buzzed, but he looked a bit uncomfortable. It may have just been the way he was sort of bending at the waist and rocking around. But when he was hit, there was something about it where you were thinking, ooh, he seemed to have felt that. Again, I wouldn't say he was buzzed. That would be an exaggeration. But he was certainly... it certainly got his attention, and you could see by his body language and his facial expression that he thought, he seemed to be enjoying himself, don't get me wrong. But, this fight went a lot longer than people thought. I don't think any of the leading heavyweights will be worried about Dillian White. And I think a lot of the up-and-comers, certainly someone like Moses Atama would love to be in there with Dillian White. Even a Johnny Fisher or someone like that. Do I see Dillian as being a top 10 heavyweight at the moment? No. Do I think he can... They're probably going to try and feed him to the younger fighters as food, and it's up to him to sort of knock a couple of them off to make the statement, I'm still here. You thought I was past it, well, come and get me. But if I was Dillian manages himself, I wouldn't be putting him anywhere near someone like a Talma. I just don't think the punch resistance is there anymore. And we kind of knew this, didn't we? Previously, previously it was flattened by Povetkin. Then he won the rematch. Povetkin himself was way past his best. Then he got flattened by Fury. Came back, a 10-round decision over Jermaine Franklin. Then he had a meaningless 3 rounds against Christian Hammer over in Castlebar. I don't think his punch resistance is there, and I'm not saying anything that hasn't been said before. Lots of people have said this, but this fight kind of, even though he wasn't buzzed really, I just didn't like the body language when Tetteh was putting it on him, and someone with a lot more technique than Tetteh would definitely take advantage. Tetteh's have come forward, pressure fighting, crude lumbering, hard punching, guy who's going to try and get you out of there. And he likes attritional wars because that's all he can do. He's no slickster. He doesn't have any real slick skills. White does, actually, again, because in the 5th round, clearly Buddy McGirt had said, go back to your jab. And Dillian just threw nothing but jabs for most of that round. And it was, Dillian was good. He was using his feet well. He was jabbing well. But he just likes to get stuck in, doesn't he? And I don't really, if I was Buddy McGirt, I'd be going mental. I'd be saying, do not exchange. Do not hook with the hooker. Do not, try and swap crosses with this guy. Just keep jabbing. And when you open him up, then you can let the old 1-2s go. Just let the backhand go. 1-2s, that's what you need against a guy like this. Keep him honest. Death by 1,000 cuts, bang, bang, bang. And don't give him a chance to win, which seemed to be what Dillian was doing. But afterwards he said, I got 7 rounds in, that was good. Goes with the 3 I got against Hammer. I've only fought a couple of times in 18 months or whatever it is. I need more rounds. Yeah, okay. But then Dillian's at the age now where he needs the big fights. He's had his little run around. This was over in Gibraltar, by the way, that hotbed of boxing. And he seemed to have, people loved it. And it was a good fight. It was a very, very entertaining fight. So can't knock it. Can't knock it at all. Yeah, I think it's been, Dillian's only had 2 fights in 2 years, isn't he? Hammer and Tetteh. 2 years. God, time flies, doesn't it? But yeah, he's 36 as well. It's the same as Tetteh, yeah, right. But he is 36. Dillian, he says he is anyway. And yeah, come on, at that age, you don't need warm-ups, do you? He's had a couple of fights just to sort of, this year, just to get his feet back under the table. It's time to go for the bigger boys. So what did you think of this? I thought it was an entertaining little row, a very entertaining scrap. I was very, very surprised. The card itself was terrible, just awful, awful card. Gibraltar, strange place to have fights, and it was, I believe, the commission that gave White a license, because he's still suspended by the board, was the Polish commission. God only knows who promoted this fight. I don't know, no idea at all. But I know it was a Polish. The Polish boxing union or whatever they're called, they gave out the license. But anyway, apart from that, I don't know whether Dillian was even bothered about having a British license again. He talked about going over to Riyadh and fighting, but you probably need a British license for that, because I think most of the all the British fighters who go over there are under the auspices of the board. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyway, let me know what you think. Thank you as always for watching. If you like this video and you could hit the like button, that would be great. And also, if you're new to the channel and you liked it, why not subscribe? Because it takes you a second and it's free and you're helping the channel out. Many, many thanks. I hope you enjoyed your weekend. Plenty of boxing, some great fights this weekend. And yeah, you take care. The week ahead. Take care of yourselves. Bye for now.